Hi everyone, this is Cody Smith. Welcome to my channel, Cody Smith Peer Support with Christ. I just want to let everyone know that I'm kind of rearranging some things in my book for clarity and just to make it easier to understand because I want to put it in as much plain language as I can, and so I'm kind of rearranging it where I'm giving you at least the legal definition according to the law here in America, known as the Americans with Disabilities Act, that legally defines what a disability is, and then I'm going to talk about the history of disability advocacy and then my life, the beginning of my life, and as I go through each chapter, I'm going to tell you about different aspects like the medical aspect of my disability and um, a lot of the characteristics that make a human being and how those qualities relate to me, and a lot of the myths about my disability, cerebral palsy, that have permeated throughout the centuries, and how they've changed and how they relate to me. Because I want to give you my life as one case scenario, like here's a real life example, and I also want to know what do you as my audience think. What questions, curiosities do you have? And I will try to answer those. So please don't hesitate to let me know. I'll happily try to answer them, at least as it relates to me, because I can only speak for myself. And as I go through, I will try to do that, kind of break it up where it's interspersing between myself and the technical information. But again, I will try to put it in as plain language as I can so that everyone can understand it and kind of guide you through my life like we're walking down a path together. And like I've said before, I liken my life to the philosopher Aristotle's allegory of the cave, where it's the men chained in the cave and there's a fire behind them, and since they're facing the back wall of the cave, they can only see shadows of what's going on outside the cave and guess about it. Well, that's what my life has been like, except my chains are the effects of my disability, so they're internal, and having a disability is my itself is my cave, and I'm facing the front of the cave where I can see outside and see what's going on in the world. And my cave has a door that I have the key to, so I can unlock it and let people in by opening my mouth and talking about these things like I'm doing now, as well as with my writing. And I'm doing that so that the general public can understand from a first hand perspective what having a disability is really like. And of course, our struggles and trials and tribulations due to our disabilities are going to vary person to person based on, the milestones we overcome, the milestones we struggle with, the level of severity of our disability, the type of disability, you know, those sorts of things, and what we do about it, and those sorts of things, because we're not all the same. It's not a one to one comparison, one size fits all, just as it's not the same for anyone else in any other circumstances, whether you're tall, short, thin, fat, you're in poverty, your ethnicity, the challenges you face for any and all personal circumstances are not going to be exactly the same for everyone. And that's what I want the world to know. But there and again, we still have the same human characteristics that everybody else has, and it's no different. Our disabilities are nothing more than an extra circumstance that we have to go through. That does not decrease or change our humanity. It just means this is a circumstance that we've been placed in. Just like the fact that you're, you know, Asian is a circumstance you've been placed in. The fact that you're rich is a circumstance you've been placed in. The fact that you're tall is a circumstance you've been placed in. The fact that you're living in poverty is a circumstance you've been placed in. The fact that you're, you know, have blonde hair is a circumstance you've been placed in. You know, it doesn't matter. The fact that you're a championship runner is a circumstance you've been placed in. The fact that you're, you know, I don't know, good at math is a circumstance you've been placed in. So it's all different for all of us. And we didn't choose it. We didn't want it. We didn't cause it. It's not our fault. Neither is any of that stuff your fault. You know, you didn't do anything to cause it to happen. You know, it just happened. It just naturally happened, and you didn't, you know, choose it. You didn't do anything to cause it. It just happened, and you had no say in it. So that's the same for those of us with disabilities, and that's what I want the world to know, because I want us to come together as a single human group and look at these circumstances as, you know, like poverty, homelessness, hunger, disability, and, you know, all the other issues that are plaguing the world. These are our common enemies, and we should get together as a single human group and metaphorically forge an army to fight against these things instead of fighting against and ostracizing each other. And that is what I'm getting at. That is why I'm doing these videos. That is why I'm writing this book. And that's what I'm trying to help the world realize. Because if you help us, then we can turn around and help you. So please take the time to really get to know each other and talk it out and find out, you know, okay, this person is a person. I'm a person. I don't know him or her. So please, you know, take the time to do that, to get to know this person, figure out what they know, how they best learn, what works best for them, and help them to get the things that they need. And then they can do everything independently and live their own lives, and then they can turn around and help you to do the same, because they might be able to help you once they get to know you as well. And then you can work together as a team and build a bond as equal human beings. Because you already are, just based off the fact that you're fully human, no matter what your personal circumstances are. And that's what I'm trying to help society understand, especially about those of us with disabilities. And I ask that everyone please take the time to do that. And please feel free to leave questions and comments in the comment section. And I may also make videos about those along with anything else. I may also try to answer your questions and comments in my book if I can. But again, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for everyone. Because disability and no single disability is one size fits all. So I want everyone to know that. And please like, share, subscribe, and let me know what you want to know, and I'll try to answer you as best I can. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow for another video. Bye, everyone.